Hello, be me. Yes, Mr. Draft Physics. Something like that. Anyway, what do we need here? We need my image.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we need to complete our test, which we have done, and so we can move on to the fun of comments. Anyway, so Skid Row Radio, long time no see and such. So he was doubtful to start, in the beginning. Thought I was way wacky attempting this. But anyway, starting to concede a little bit, I think. So he said, solid. Would like to see an open-minded quantum mechanics major address this. I don't even care if they have an open mind. I would like to see the addressing part. Yeah, where, yeah, my model has energy and my model unifies. Yeah, two biggies. Anyway, okay. So now on to the shit. Some person called God with the image of a devil. Oh, aren't you so daring and bold, little trolly person? Anyway, it's funny how little you know, how arrogant you look. So there's a guy who calls himself God and has the icon of a devil. And he's calling somebody else arrogant. Anyway, yeah, too stupid. First Newtonian law, this whatever. not really laws, but okay, let's see what you have to say. It says that energy cannot be created from nothing, right? No, Newton never really said that. That's the Einstein thing, really. Yes, that's right. Obviously, the whole universe, in a sense, had to be created from what we would have considered nothing but possibility. Nothing very recognizable as a something. But whatever, go ahead, play your game. Like somehow my theory suggests energy from nothing. No, I'm the one explaining where the energy comes from. You're the ones with the nothing theory. The magical, every single atom consumes space, time, constantly consuming space, time. Every single little material thing is constantly consuming space, time. You're the one with that theory, right? When the when the push theory, right, that's their pull theory, right? When the push theory completely explains it by just having random straight line force. So random straight line lines will look like a perfect, like sun, like a perfect little radiance coming off of it. The object will only be hit by things heading right for it. Yes, it'll be the perfect description of the inverse square law, which is the thing Newton discovered. The function, the most obvious function of gravity, is the thing the straight line force creates perfectly when just randomized. Oh, there can't be any connection. That would be idiotic to rationally think there might be a connection then to random straight line force and the inverse square law. They're completely, one creates exactly that, and we shouldn't. No, it'd be stupid to look there for the truth. That would be insane. But who says that free energy comes from nothing? So again, nowhere in my theory do I do I slight the idea of the conservation of energy. Nowhere in this theory have I said anything about violating any idea that you can just make something move with no force. Your theory is the one where you make magnets move without a force. Your theory makes planets move without a force. Your theory makes photons bend without a force. Your theory, not mine. Okay, if you do not, then look it up. Go fuck yourself till you're dead. All right. After that, look up the sun and the earth. Oh, that's brilliant. Earth has an iron core, right? Well, actually, it might be aluminum, mostly, but whatever. The sun emits EM waves, right? No, really, no. So, fuck you. If you wish to see the light, start thinking also with your heart. Oh, I mean, this coming from some asshole who puts God and the devil as his name and icon. Talking about sincerity and heart. Oh, yes, you're just so fucking full of shit. Logic can only get you so far. Oh, spoken like a true scientist. No, spoken like a true religious kook. Obviously self-hating religious kook. The universe, multiverse, world. So again, more, why would I even, why zero evidence for a multiverse, just zero. Or however you call it. Some more stuff. He's making declarations. It's infinite and infinite and all kinds of possibilities. No, there really isn't an infinite number of possibilities. No, there really isn't. But go ahead, have your delusions. The only thing that is preventing you from achieving infinity is yourself. Yes, well, whatever. You're proving it by being an anonymous coward on the internet who is afraid to even show your own face or to make your own content or to do anything like an upright stand-up person. I mean, you're just insanely duplicitous in your insanity. Yeah. What a fucking asshole. Jesus, where do they come from? Anyway, all right. So, another asshole. Neuro Tank, whatever the fuck that means. Who knows? Anonymous coward, no content channel. Shit talking out of ass cliche. Unaccountable douche. How does it feel to know that the only people who buy into this are ignorant fools, totally devoid of physics knowledge? Well, why don't you prove that by actually showing that you have some physics knowledge? I mean, it's not that hard to disprove something. You know, if somebody says something, you could just show an experiment that, hey, there's the experimental evidence. It proves that's not right. So why don't you do that? Why don't you show me your experimental evidence? Oh, that's right. You don't have any for your Three Bears fantasy stories. Why don't you show me your experimental evidence of the virtual photon and what it's doing? Why don't you even just show me theoretical evidence of what it's doing? Like, just show me some sort of paper that actually explains how virtual photons make magnets move. Why don't you do that, douche? Anyway. And the kind of people who believe in the earth is flat. So another ludicrous comparison in the sense that you're the one with the bizarre theory with the extraordinary UFO events, the bizarre entanglements and Huygens and Heisenbergs and dark matter and all your little invisible men excuses, just like the flat earth people say, well, if I shoot a laser beam on the earth and it clearly shows that the earth is round because, you know, the distance gets higher from the surface of the earth because the laser beam flies straight and the earth is, and they'll say, no, the earth is pushing the laser beam away. Pushing force, dark energy. You've done the same thing. You're the one with these silly excuses for why your theory doesn't make any sense. Your magic forces. Again, let's understand their theory is that every little material bit is vacuuming space, and that when they're in a collection, somehow they don't vacuum each other too much, but they collectively end up vacuuming space. And again, let's understand that the vacuuming in 3 dimensions is exactly like pushing. You know, pulling is just like pushing, and pushing is just so much more obvious, like how, you know, pushing things, it's just, you don't even have to think about pushing. It's just so obvious. Pulling is a lot more complicated. And is, in fact, when you really look at it, like if you were a logical person, you'd say, oh, I see that pushing is kind of sneaky because the pulling is just pushing from the backside, isn't it? Oh, you're just being sneaky. See, if you're clever and a little bit intelligent, you'd figure out the gimmick. But you're too frickin' stupid, so you can't figure out anything. I mean, you're the flat earth dupe. You've bought a bunch of unevidenced, insanely weak evidence, three bear stories, and you're somehow proud of yourself. I bought into that three bear shit. Sure, I invested $50 in that stock, the three bear stock. You're an idiot. When are you going to change? I don't even know what that even means. I mean, it's a theory about a physical object, a description of a thing in reality. What does this have to do about me changing? It has to do with whether that description fits the evidence or not. And as I demonstrate over and over in these videos, it does fit the evidence really well. Holy shit. All right, actually try to produce some mathematics. As I've explained before, why? Why do I need to produce something that's already been done? Again, describing the effects is not what I'm doing. I'm not describing effects. I'm describing causes. You don't have mathematics that explain causes. You only have mathematics that describes effects. You're too stupid to even figure that out? Man, you're really dumb. When you say 2 + 2 = 4, you're not explaining where the 2's came from, are you? No, dummy. Yeah, stupid shit. Oh, and predictions. Well, I've made a ton of predictions, actually, and they're all, and again, my obligation in drawing a map, okay, if I draw a map of New Jersey, I mean, obviously it has predictions in it in the sense that, yes, I'm predicting, that Mendham will be here and the shore will be over here where the ocean is. That's where the beaches will be, I mean, in a sense, I'm making predictions, but I mean, what I'm really doing is trying to conform it to the actual circumstance and actually get the mileage right and get the distances right and make an accurate description of where the things are. I'm not here to make predictions. Well, New Jersey flowed into the ocean. I don't know. I don't think it will. It's really irrelevant. And I'm certainly not predicting that New Jersey is entangled with California and secretly communicating at the subluminal speeds. All right, maybe write a legit paper for publication. Publication in what? The Vatican's journal? I mean, realistically, is writing to conventional physics about how they have been duped, been complete idiots for 100 years, right? Any more sensible than me writing a letter to the Pope, for publication, explaining how the theory of evolution completely abolishes your idiotic religion. Or even writing a paper about how your idiotic religion doesn't make any sense. Why would the Savior say the poor would be with you always? Do you think the Pope will answer my question? Why did Jesus say that? Why did he say, I'm but here a short while, when we're all here but a short while? Why would he say something so fucking stupid? Why would the Savior say stupid things like that? Do you think the Pope's going to answer it? No. The Pope's just going to say, you have an insufficient document. But whatever. Fuck you. I mean, let's recognize again, I have one person working on this theory for 7 years versus 100 years of a million little nerdy, people with their belt tied up to their nipples, working on it for 100 years. A million people working on it for 100 years. And I think I'm surpassing them in actual substance. That's how bad your theory is. All these people working on it, and they've just made it messier and stupider and more retarded. They just keep adding nonsense features. Let's invent another particle. It'll be fun. We'll call it God. Oh, pathetic. You're fucking pathetic. All right. Or are you afraid? I'm obviously not afraid. I'm inviting the conversation. I think what I'll do is I'll have to maybe just make it a little more generic. Instead of offering big money to big heads, I'll offer little money to less big heads. So let's just say somebody with a physics degree. I'll pay you for every hour you spend inside this room live. Okay, so you have to be willing to be on camera. You have to put up your reputation. I'll pay you $100 an hour. How's that? And you just have to prove you have a physics degree. I'm not afraid, asshole. I'm inviting a rational commentary. I'll pay you to attempt to debunk anything I've said. I'll pay you to debunk me. I'll pay you to watch my videos and attempt to prove that I'm wrong. Shit. You're the one who's afraid and who can't make an argument. You're afraid your little spiritual world, your little fake religion, your little science religion, your Scientology world is going to fall apart. You're all just Christian scientists. You don't give a shit about the truth or physics. You've turned it into fairy tales with a P. Phantasmagorical fairy tales. That's your physics. Or are you afraid that kind of stuff will force you to admit you're wrong? Again, there's absolutely no doubt I'd invest my guts in my theory. So if you want to make a contract that in 100 years, okay, after we're both dead, all right, if I'm not proven right, people can shit in my skull, okay, but if I am proven right, they get to shit in your skull. How's that? Those YouTube videos are going nowhere. These. Says you. So you're making a prediction. So how much money are you willing to bet, asshole? How much are you willing to bet? You think Einstein was going somewhere where he was in a patent office? Remember, Einstein was really going nowhere until Eddington did a bullshit experiment that was totally almost irrational as an experiment based on a gimmick that Einstein invented out of nowhere. That photons are bent twice as much in gravity as any other material body. I mean, just a pure gimmick. Okay, and he got a New York Times headline: Einstein proven right. So, what the fuck are you talking about? Obviously, Einstein wasn't proven right because the experiment was bullshit. You must realize that. Now, I realize that you people have really small dicks. I mean, you're such trolly little pukes. And, if I ran the world, you wouldn't be allowed to do this. If you want to shit talk, you have to put up. Or you shut up. Put up or shut up. Be a real human. Take accountability for what you say to other people. Or shut the fuck up. Puke. All right, man. Melissa Useless. I'm sorry, I have to change your name because you're just fucking useless. Disagree. Everyone has been trying. There's not this everyone trying shit is bullshit. Everybody's a propagandizing bullshitter, okay? And they're really not trying very hard because, frankly, this wasn't that hard to figure out. To get a hold on a better theory. Again, I don't think Ken Wheeler's trying very hard. I think he's preposterously dishonest because I think he knows the ferrocell's a gimmick. I think he knows because I think he's tried it with 2 LEDs and 4 LEDs and realized it's all just a light trick. It has nothing to do with anything real. You think, I mean, am I really to believe, okay, maybe he is so ignorant of physics that he actually thinks that scientists with all their big experiments and all their fancy devices can't bend a photon with magnetism. Yet he thinks his little fucking ferrocell's doing that. It's bending light. Bullshit. Ken Wheeler is a dishonest con artist. All right. I mean, it's already been demonstrated to some extent. I mean, look, we go back to the stupid when he was displaying images, like, he sort of just implied when he's testing a printer that these are my images, because he took the copyrights off the images of the people who actually took the pictures. And he just sort of implied that this is part of my portfolio. He didn't say it was, but he just let everybody believe it. I mean, he will fuck the truth when it's to his convenience. So don't give me this shit that everybody's actually trying to do anything. Bullshit. All right, trying to produce some, let's see, I should do a better theory. Everybody's trying to get a hold of a better theory. Right, and you're not really getting the point of this channel, Melissa, is that I already think I did that. I've already accomplished it. You see, so I don't need to go looking for it anymore. I don't need to see if I can find somebody who's getting there or something, because I've already gotten there. And I'm really not interested in wasting my time looking at the people failing to get there. I don't need to watch the failures. I'm the success person, all right? I know how to swim and do the thing. Why should I watch the people who drowned in the water? That would be stupid. And this way, everyone can collect information. No, they're not collecting information. They're propagandizing and presenting distortions as reality. They're trying to argue that somehow, because there's a spiral on a conch shell, that the universe is a fractal or some other crap. And like, again, the Pharaoh cell is a perfect example. They're making these bizarre, extraordinary claims about what this device is doing. And they just don't give a shit that, well, if you look under a microscope, that's not what it's doing. And if you know a little bit about optical theory, you can understand that, no, this is all about light refraction. It doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with any magnetic field distorting any kind of light. So, fuck, no, wrong again. Everyone can collect information and condense facts. None of this is, like I said, none of this is relevant to me. All right. I went and watched lectures to get facts. I don't watch Ken Wheeler to get a fact because he doesn't have any facts. He's not a fact machine. He's a distortion machine. All right. For a better understanding. Well, that's just all fucking horseshit. Ugh, useless shit. Sorry. It's garbage. It just has nothing to do with the mission of this channel. If you want to call something information or relevant facts, those are important things. So why don't you list some relevant facts? Even if you want to like defend these loop-de-doers, why don't you go watch their idiotic videos, and then all you have to do. I mean, I can show you how you do it. All right. I mean, it's really not a complex process. Okay. Let's see. There should be a video open on this thing. All right. Say you're watching the video and you say, oh, this is the part where Ken is really smart. He says something really informative and knowledgeable and factual. Well, you click on the little arrow, see where the mouse is going, and it gives you these choices. And it says right there, copy, where the hell is it? Oh, I haven't played it yet. Oh, okay. Well, one of the choices will be copy this time code. And so it'll give you a little bit of a link that has the time code of the video. So I can go right to that part where Ken Wheeler's being really brilliant, and I can play it for everybody. And we'll see what you think is a brilliant argument, okay, that I should waste my time with. And I'll point out why I don't think it's worth my time. Now, I think it's absolute rubbish and garbage. All right. And that's what's going to really happen. But that's okay with me. See, that won't be a complete waste of my time. But just making this vague reference that somehow these other assholes have a grain of truth somewhere. No, it's such a tiny percentage of their overall content. Ken Wheeler says, puts 3 or 4 words together that make sense. 1 in a million words. Okay, so yeah, just out of random luck, he somehow put some gobbledygook together, and you could say, okay, that sort of can work. Okay, like pressure mediation. He accidentally falls in that. Oh yeah, pressure mediation. Now, the idea of an ether doing it is retarded because ethers can't pressure mediate in straight line force. And the inverse square law is the product of straight line force. I mean, it's just so obvious. And ethers don't do straight line force. Ethers do wavy crap. So look, you believe in this ether shit. Okay, go ahead and believe it. But don't do it on my channel because I think it's religion. There's 0 evidence for it. It makes no logical sense. So isn't that the same thing as a religion? I mean, there's 0 evidence of God. And it doesn't make any logical sense that some asshole would put brain tumors in people's heads. I'm God. I'm doing you a favor. Here's a brain tumor. No, it doesn't make any fucking sense. All right, anyway. So I have tried to explain to you what the purpose is here, and you just seem very anti to it. So if you're just going to keep doing this driveling referencing to retards, you're just not going to last here because I just got no use for it. I have played their videos. I've demonstrated that they have nothing of value to say about science. They're religious people. Ken Wheeler admits he's a metaphysics nut, and the scientific elite guy admits he's a fanatic Christian lunatic. Why would I? What is there to say? They're already admitting as an axiom, I'm an idiot, before we even start a conversation about science. And then they're just incapable of recognizing scientific facts. And they think there's some sort of conspiracies and blah, 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 blah. They're hiding the special Tesla knowledge. Blah, 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 blah. No, they're not. All right, so, yeah, so I thought I already blocked this guy. I blocked somebody. So enough of that. Oh, there's another Melissa comment. Try ignoring the religious beliefs. Why would I do that? It's glaring evidence of retardation. It's like somebody walks up to me and is a flat earth believer and says, I believe in a flat earth. Why should I ignore that as evidence of somebody who has spent no time whatsoever doing any research, right? Because if you understood what flat earth means, okay, first that means gigantic conspiracy theory involving millions of people. Millions of people conspired to hide the flat earth truth from us. Fake, beautifully done, incredibly technically perfect images of the round earth they made with weather and all kinds of stuff moving. And they're doing it almost like 5 minutes. They have 5 minutes to make the image of the hurricane. And they're somehow able to do it, to put the hurricane in the right location, have it spin, do all the right things. So let's just ignore the insane conspiracy theory that we didn't land on the moon, none of our satellites work, there's no GPS, all this stuff. Let's ignore that preposterous part and just deal with some of these other facts. Like I said, when you shoot a laser beam, you can prove it. When you sit in a rowboat on a lake, you'll notice that a big lake, so you can be a couple miles out, and you'll notice that the buildings rise from the top down. How does a flat earth make buildings go up and down? I mean, little simple things will give it away. So why should I, as soon as somebody says they're a flat earther, shouldn't I just say you're an idiot and just be done with them? Do they really have any potential to do anything clever or smart or to have any capacity to impose any complex judgment? They couldn't even do simple research on a simple subject. And you think they can be an authority on physics? Oh, fuck no. So no, I'm not going to ignore religious beliefs. And check out the website. Check out what website? Yeah, I mean, just insane. God-Based Magnetism by Michael Green and Scientific Lee. So amazing. You could provide a link to that, right? I mean, that's not that complicated. God-Based Magnetism. I mean, okay, I'll check it out. It's going to be retarded. Insanely retarded. I don't know. Why do you do this? Why? You really think I'm going to be convinced, not only that there's a God, but that God would have something to do with taking a simple force like magnetism, which I've always explained to be dirt simple. I mean, I've drawn you the fucking pictures for buggery's sake. I drew you the goddamn simple pictures, and you're still playing this game. Godbasedmagnetism.org. I just can't believe it. Yeah, it's just too retarded. Oh, look at this. This is So far, so nothing, but let's see. All right, God-based magnetism. God-based magnetism. Yes, saying it twice is good. E equals M. Well, of course. And that's true from Einstein's perspective. Like I said, the C squared is just to apply a constant so we can give a volume to it. But obviously, C squared is an insanely big number, so obviously we can understand the amount of energy inside of an atom is huge. And that's the point. The more amount of pressure. And so it's really E equals P. Energy equals pressure, as I've explained to you. So here's for people who need me to do mathematics. Okay, here's some mathematics for you. E equals P, pressure. And the pressure is how close are the ping pong paddles and how many little balls are bouncing between them. There you go. That's the energy. Chapter 1. So really, I'm supposed to read this tripe. You really think so? Here's the truth. Where E equals energy and M equals magnetism. So amazing. I mean, as I've already demonstrated, magnetism has no energy. As physics has clearly demonstrated, magnetism has no energy. That's why I had to make a virtual photon. And I have explained to you that the energy is gravity. Gravity is the energy for magnetism. There's no magnetism without the gravity. The magnet is just a fucking filter. You've heard me say that over and over, right, Melissa? So you're just too fucking stupid. Is that it? You're just obstinately stupid. I've explained to you, I couldn't be more confident in my theory of a magnet. I mean, it's just so fucking obvious that that's how it works. So that one is so solid that you're not going to, you really think I have some little bit of doubt or something that, no, it must be, no, there must be three bears and a God story behind it. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's just retarded. Magnets don't make energy. They convert it. There are two kinds of magnetism, that of God, that of man. Now, I'm supposed to read this tripe. This fucking Barney the dinosaur puke. Seriously. You would seriously walk up to Richard Feynman or something if he was alive and say, oh, you got to read this shit. It's so brilliant about how magnets are godly. God's magnetism is based on the interaction of three kinds of individual particles. These particles make up the operate all matter and all life in the universe. yeah, everything in the universe is made out of 100 atoms, and most of the stuff is just made out of 30 atoms. You know, and some stuff's just one atom. When God said, let there be light, these particles came forth from his glorified body. Well, I don't remember that. I remember any story about how his body made the universe. But so they're already aggrandizing their little God story. Then God created the sun. Fine. From which, well, I thought that was the let there be light part. So I guess if you made the sun after he made the light, that's a little bit retarded. Seems like the wrong order. Seems like the sun came first and the light came out of the sun. So they can't even get the order of events even close to reasonable. From which these particles emanate in all form of sunbeams. So that's a real technically scientific kind of phraseology, sunbeams. La 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 la. Very technical. The particles are the individual North Pole magnets. So they're saying the photons are magnets. Well, the North Pole of the magnet. Clearly, they're misunderstanding. The material bits make magnets. The force bits are the force. They're not material bits. They can't make the magnet. Okay, and the individual South Pole magnet and the individual neutral particle of matter. So there is no neutral particles. That's just see, they fooled people with bad rhetoric. They called this thing a neutron, 100 years ago. And they didn't really realize it wasn't neutral. It's an electron and a proton. but they sort of know that now because that's what it decays or decomposes into. So when they put one somewhere and they just let it fall apart, they find, oh, there's a proton and an electron in there. See, so we know that now. So we really shouldn't be calling it a neutron. We should be calling it a dual pole electron or something. A magneton. Yeah, would make more sense. All right, anyway. The individual neutral particle, right? The core of the Earth is a solid iron ball which attracts individual north and south pole magnets. Well, how does it do that? How does it do this attracting? That make up the magnetic poles and magnetic field or whatever. What's this magnetic field made out of? The Earth's magnetic poles and fields are magnetically balanced at all times. So the balance of the balancing scales is balanced by the balancer. It sounds a little bit circular. This is maintained by an equal number of individual North Pole magnets and individual South Pole magnets being pulled towards and pushed from the Earth's magnetic field. Well, that isn't very descriptive, and there's no drawing of it, so I don't think so. Some magnets are thrown out of the magnetic field by confugal. Jeez, it's not that. I mean, you know, I remember as a kid, I had a problem with this word sometimes. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I haven't had a problem with it in quite a while. It's just funny. I mean, I want to say, it's like Ken Wheeler words are popping in my head. I'm just like, no, don't say confugal. You know, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. And never to return, which is just absolutely idiotic. So whatever. Sunbeams strike the Earth continuously, delivering steady supply of magnets. So again, this is just wrong. Okay, that's not how it's happening. It's a steady supply of photons, not magnets. The Earth itself does not produce any magnets or individual neutral particles of matter. Obviously, the Earth doesn't produce anything. It collects things. That's how it was made. It collected atoms. The Earth is held in place and together by its two magnetic poles. So more just nonsense. It's held together by gravity. It's a real thing, gravity. Okay, the magnetic force of the poles is equal and cancels each other out. How that works, again, nothing. Oh, and now we're going to quote from the Bible. He suspends the earth over nothing. What do you want to say? I mean, obviously, thousands of years ago, they had some idea that, hey, the earth must be in this big field of black shit. There's no handle on it. You know, it's not like a pot. It has a handle. You know, not like a, no Hooters, nothing to grab. The Earth itself is a magnet with north magnetic pole and south magnetic pole. Well, we're not, it all sounds like they're just rewriting the same chapter over and over. Not a very long chapter, paragraph long. The three kinds of individual particle, well, let's not just bother with that. We already figured out that's a mistake. North pole magnet current and south pole magnet current. North pole magnet current. Let's see, Earth's north pole. This is the Earth, the magnetic field of the Earth is minuscule by comparison to its mass. It's just silly to even have a conversation about having some meaning or relevance. The atom is composed of three kinds of individual particle. You already did that. Atoms are created when individual north and south pole magnets orbit around a common core. What makes them move? How they get their orbits? How they get their velocity? As in figure 6.1, the individual neutral particles of matter is always the common core. Well, how would something neutral have any use? How's the neutral thing doing something? So again, you're giving power to the neutral thing. It doesn't make much sense. The magnets move at great speeds. How do you know that? Who proved that anywhere? Configural force, centrifugal force, pushes the magnets outward. So again, where do they get their velocity? And you know, just by logic, obviously that velocity would have to be ideally suited to the thing they're orbiting. Because just like in gravity, if you're going anything a little speed off, just a tiny little bit of change in the Earth's speed, and it crashes into the sun or flies out of the solar system. While the magnets are pulled inward by the two equal opposite forces of magnetism. It doesn't say anything either. The interaction of these forces maintains the atom's integrity. Whatever. Says you. That sounds like just conventional mumbo jumbo, that part. But he has the both of them circulating, you know, so somehow both protons and electrons are flying around neutrons, I guess. So again, it's not going to be based on any experiments that have done some dissection of atoms and kind of rationally drawn the conclusion about what must be where. And protons really have to be in a tiny center because they're really hard to hit. And that's the only rational explanation about why they're so fucking hard to hit. All right, very high pressures and extreme heat in the Earth's inner core. And where did that heat and come from? It has to come from gravity. Gravity creates the heat. Well, anyway, this is not my theory, obviously. It's not consistent with my theory. It's not useful mush. And it's insanely premised that this has something that somehow physics has something to do with some kind of God fable. So anyway, you really are just wasting my time, Melissa. And I guess I have to, you know, I'll just give you one last warning. If this is all you're going to do is reference these religious kooks, then I'll just block you. Okay? That's how it goes. Reference how conventional physics is right or how I'm wrong. Otherwise, you have no utility to me. Lee, last secret also on Ken Wheeler being debunked by Lee. The scientific Lee, last secret also on Ken Wheeler being debunked by Lee. I'm just saying, Nutter challenging Nutter is not a fight I need to watch. So don't waste my time. Challenge my theory with an argument that has something to do with a physics concept, or provide me evidence to the scientific, some scientific experiment or authority that makes some sort of argument that I just can't possibly wiggle out of or refute or say or explain how that's garbage. Those are your obligations as participants. Of course, you can just applaud. That's okay too, but I'm really not that interested. I mean, I really don't mind once in a while hearing, oh, you've done a good job, Gary. I get it. I don't mind hearing that, but I'm just saying I'm not soliciting it. The point isn't to take opinion polls. The point is to make arguments. And yes, I'm perfectly confident the Vatican doesn't want to hear about evolution. And, you know, clearly the fanatics of quantum mechanics and relativity don't want to hear about how their theory is weakly evidenced and on its face, silly. So let's see, is there anything I can draw for the fun of it? Let's see. Is there anything I need to go over? I mean, I don't know if I want to just make a new subject or go. The point is, it's just time to do another overview video, I guess, on some of the electrostatics versus magnetism versus electromagnetism versus charge. I mean, just combining those subjects because they're all the same thing. The electron and the proton are the magnetic monopoles, and they function exactly as magnetic monopoles would function. Right here. Better. So I'll give you a couple minutes to say something, or we'll just say goodnight again. So I believe I've done my job. I don't think there's any other comments. Yep. Okay. So I have done my job. But yeah, maybe I could set up some sort of stock investment challenge website. Where you put in money, and if in 10 years I'm not proven right, you get all the money of the people who bet on the other side. So you just make a bet. I'll cover your bets best I can anyway. I'll put money in a separate account or something. For every dollar you put in, I'll put money in a legally closed account that will pay you that money with interest. If I'm proven, if I'm not proven right. And if it turns out the other way around, I get to keep your money. Because it's, like I said, it should be game over. I mean, the last 3 videos have just demonstrated how it can't fit all these experiments. It can't sit there and perfectly explain all these experiments. If it's the wrong answer, it's just not possible to come up with a wrong answer that fits so well. I mean, evidence of their theory being wrong is the fact that their theories don't fit. It doesn't unify. It doesn't explain all the phenomena rationally. They need all kinds of gimmicks. And then they have to switch variables in the formula and have conditions. Oh, you can only do Lenz's law here. You can't do it here. And you can only do this law here, and you can't do it over there. I mean, all these conditions. And what do you think all that's about? It's about the fact that they don't have the right answer. And such. So really, if you are willing to, for $100 an hour, participate in a live room, and you're willing to prove you have a physics degree, I don't know exactly what the proof is going to have to be, though. That's the annoying part, because people can just fake a document. What the hell? Online. Let's see. Well, I have to think about how to do that. Because, yeah, people are just going to, jerk off in my room, so to speak, in the sense they have no physics degree. They're just going to talk shit. So that's not going to work. I want somebody who seriously spent real money to go to Bible school, physics Bible school. And, that's the kind of person I want to talk to. Somebody who's been duped, really duped by paying real money to be duped. But email, ds@draftphysics.com. Maybe the condition will just be I could leave it up maybe to the honest people in the audience. Let them let them decide whether you're talking as if you have a degree or not. Whether they believe you have a degree. But again, yes, I would like to hear somebody who has any lucidity in physics answer my questions and make a rational argument about how I cannot possibly be correct in what I'm saying. hearing it. I can't talk to you because you're poopy, meanie. Excuse making. I might destroy your delusion that you're well educated. No, you're well programmed and deluded. You've been well propagandized, in a sense. All right, so I guess that's enough. Really nothing in the subscriptions, which is really, there's just nothing happening. Just nothing. 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 These Russian guys are a little bit funny. I mean, they make stupid things, but they're just making really stupid things lately. So they're gotten quite uninteresting. Our stuff that cost a fortune to make isn't really going to pay for itself. So it lost it. Yeah, but look, nothing. There's just nothing here. Royal Institution looking for dark matter. Oh, how much fun. I suppose I could play it, but I mean, it's just too irritating. Let's see. Pondering the improbabilities. Right, sure. The biggest question in cosmology. Blah, 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 blah. Dupers. Dupers, 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 dupers. Yeah, even, Professor Lewin wasting my time with a very romantic painting. I mean, his taste in art is horrible. He likes this stuff that looks like shit. I mean, like a 5-year-old glued their boogers onto a fucking canvas. I mean, just horrible. Oh yeah, it's high art. Oh, it isn't. It's shit. I'm just surprised. But I shouldn't be surprised, right? Because even when he did physics lecture, he wore silly shirts with fucking popcorn, like he'd safety pin popcorn to his shirt or something. I mean, he was just, bizarre. But anyway, I don't get too many people. 10 viewers. Pretty pitiful. Been worse, but it's pretty bad. All right, so I guess I have to give up because, yeah, that's the way it is. Nobody's got nothing. All right, so till the next time, and